Welcome back to the C Morning Show, everyone. It is almost 8:15 in the a.m. Time for our second discussion. I want to ask you, Alin, were you good at geography in school?
I was so bad.
Me too. No. It's a very difficult subject. Not everyone's great at it, but geography is a knowledge that is often related to the Earth's space. Now, geographic orientation is primarily about location and its attributes, which most of the time we can see in the form of a map.
Yes, a map plays two important roles, namely as a medium for information and a tool that eases people to see patterns or environmental complexity between places.
That's right. Now, maps can be studied through a practice called cartography, which is used to track the exploration of new territories. And it is also used for research by corporate in terms of planning, monitoring, and even our daily needs. You know, you ever use that map on
Yes,
when you're
I couldn't live
trying to
without
navigate
one.
traffic? Now, to find out more about mapping and how it relates to geography, today we're joined by the head of the Geography Department at Universitas Indonesia, Iqbal Putut Ashidik, and Para Sugiwara's representative, Muhammad Fitra Ramadan. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about mapping in geography. Is this cartography? Is that what it is? Can you explain a little bit for those of us that don't understand?
Well, geography is it's a mix and a holistic concept. You know,
Okay.
where people might know geography as social science, but actually,
That's right.
if you basically it's a science of the earth. But you know, in the earth we have the physical aspects like mountains, landscapes, water, soil, and rocks, so on. And also we have the social aspect or anthropological aspects. So it's a little bit both.
Okay.
And we would like to know the interrelationship between the human and the physical aspects. And map is a tool for visualization, actually. So outside here, we know that the real world is so complex. The geographical phenomena is so complex. And we would like to understand in order to better prepare for certain area, for example. So we need the tools to simplify the complex real world, and it's a map. Because when you see the map, you see symbols. Symbols can kind of like simplify the phenomena. Like road, for example. You see a road in a line symbol. You see buildings in a polygon or area symbol. And you see point of interest like cafe or restaurant as a point symbol.
Right.
So it's simplify the phenomena, right?
Right, that's true.
And we use map in our daily life, right? You use for navigation, you use for ordering food.
Yeah.
So I think maps is already popular right now, but not everyone can make a map.
Yeah.
We need a good and proper map. That's why cartography is there. Cartography is a science of map making. So basically, when we want to put those simplified symbols, we need to learn how to put it. I mean, we cannot use it as you know, symbol, and symbols should be represent something. The color as well. So that's why we need cartography.
Okay. Can you tell us about the research that you've been doing, collaborating with the villages heads and in rural areas of Indonesia? What are the key takeaways?
So it's called participatory mapping.
Yes.
Basically, we know that local community has so many information. They have the local knowledge. And in order to use it as a planning, in the planning process, so we need to involve them in the process, right? So in the participatory mapping, we try to ask the villagers what kind of information they have. So I think for them is to have some development planning which is suitable to them, because it's from them. The information is from them. And when we trying to implement something in their area, or we want to develop something in their area, we should know that. I mean, we talk about culture, we talk about norms, beliefs, something like that. So it can be drawn in a map. So for the first takeout for the villager itself is is to know, they can involve in the mapping process.
How difficult is it? How much more challenging is it for mapping in a rural area such as a village? Because we do know there's technology now. If you want to map city streets, you know, you ever seen those cars where they have like those sensors and then they just drive around and then they collect all the data from that? But you can't do that in like these rural villages. So what is the process like for collecting data in a rural?
Well, there are so many methodology, but in this case, we create the work map. And then we print it in a big paper, and then we show to them, and then they can draw on the map.
And that's how they participate in
we
it.
call it hands-on methods.
Okay, so it's very manual still.
Yes,
And
exactly.
how can they make use of this map for agricultural purposes or for the development of the local economy in the villages?
Well, first we need to train them to read the map because I think we are the one who know the knowledge, right?
Yes.
So we have to train them firstly to how to draw the map, and then we try to gather them in a group called focus group discussion, something like that, and then we can draw the map together. After draw the map, we revise it, we create a proper map, and then we show the map to them again, so that they can criticize the map. So it's a kind of an iteration process, right? So after all the villagers agree, then we can sign the agreement. So this map is definite, something like that. And any kind of information can be drawn on that map, ranging from agriculture, but the boundary of the village itself also can be drawn in the map.
Okay, so Kebumen Regency in Central Java, that was the main focus of the research. So why was that area chosen in particular?
So particularly, we choose the village of Sugiwaras, which consists of 90% farmers, and most of the land area within the village is mostly used for farming, and that is the perfect example of the average village in Indonesia. So that the work that we have done could be implemented towards the other villages. Yeah, that's the reason why.
Okay, can you tell us about the challenges that you face while you guys are working on this project?
Sure. I think the biggest challenge is that within that village is that we don't really get any big good internet connection because it's in the middle of the village, far away from a big city. And because all of our mapping tools are web-based and online-based and digital-based, we couldn't get a good enough digitalization in order to train them on how to use the digital mapping process. Because, like, as we all know, that digital mapping process is the biggest thing right now, right? Like, you all use digital mapping stuff every day, and we want to bring those digital things towards the villages. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges. And another one is that, firstly, most people can't really use their digital tablets, digital things properly, because like most of them just used for chatting, for calling, etc. Like they thought that those digital tools are only for communication, but we have trained them to do mapping within their own digital processes.
Okay. So how can the general public, can they access this information from the research that you've done, and how can they do so?
Yep. You could access it in about 1 or 2 months or so. We will make it public, and other village heads could implement them within their own villages.
So what have you found throughout like doing this research? What are some of the things that you discovered that were eye-opening for you, that perhaps that you've learned throughout this process?
I think the biggest eye-opening thing is that coming from a city boy, right? I'm also a city boy. Like I can't even step into a village town and like just not open my phone.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're so used to it.
The biggest eye-opening thing is that, firstly, most people view digital stuff as a far-away thing, as something that's very complicated, as something that is not very easy to use. That's the biggest thing for me. And the other thing is that they have some resistancy in change.
That's true.
What we are trying to do is that we want to help the people there to digitalize everything in order to make everything easier, right? Because like if you process the data through the digital means, then it could be done in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. However, they view it as more kind of like more work for them.
Okay. Because they don't understand it.
Yeah,
fully
because
yet.
they don't understand it. And as part of our training, we have trained them in order to show that it's easy, you guys could do it, and it could be done sustainably in a longer matter.
What feedbacks do you receive from them?
I think the biggest feedback is that they told us that they are thankful for showing them that digital things are very easy and mapping stuff is also very accessible to them. And also another feedback is that the bureaucracy of the village level is different towards the regions level or like the district level.
How so?
It's different because it's mostly a community base, you know, right? Not like through bureaucratic manners, but
Right.
like it's through family to family. Unlike like bureaucracy, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's the biggest feedback that we got.
Very cool. So you mentioned that this would be a perfect example because this
Yeah.
would be like your typical village that we find in many other areas of Indonesia. So expanding outward now, what are some of the other regions or areas that you've kind of considered to do this next?
I think for now we are focusing only within the Kebumen Regency because we identified that there are within the whole sub-district there are 5 or 4 other villages that could qualify within our implementation. However, other than Kebumen, we would like to try within the greater Jakarta area, typically in Bogor, because it is the most accessible for us from Universitas Indonesia in Depok.
That's true.
So yeah, that's the biggest target for us right now.
Very cool.
Okay, yes. Good luck for the expansion of this initiative, and thank you so much for coming to our studio, Mr.
for having
Iqbal,
us.
and also Fitra.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and we will take another short break here on the program. But when we return, we have some updates and feature stories to share with you, so keep it right here on the C Morning Show, only on Seatoday. We'll be right back.